I have a little message for Michigan football, but I'll get to it at the end of this segment. Minus 21, not too good right there for Michigan. It opened at minus 23.5. Over under 42.5. Obviously, Michigan 6-5, but Buckeyes really right there, already going to play in the conference championship game. Do they have a shot?
David, if Michigan if Ohio State had beaten Michigan the last 2 years and, had done stuff in the playoffs and you didn't have what happened, I would give Michigan a little bit more of a chance. Not a 50-50 chance, but maybe a 30% chance. All right? And I'm going to let you gas I'm going to let you get yours, all right? I don't want to spend too much. I'm going to yield my time. What do they say in Crain? I'm going to yield my time here in a second. I think Ryan Day is just going to try and make a statement.
Is purse?
It's super. It's always personal in this game. And when you go to Ohio State, you get hired at Ohio State to beat Michigan, just like, vice versa. I'm just sitting here looking schematically, and I know Michigan turned off the lights and put on the masks against Northwestern last week. I just don't see how, and I know, is Will Johnson?
Will Johnson's not playing. He's done.
You've got guys that aren't playing this game. We know Ohio State's roster is better than Michigan's overall anyway, even I think if Will Johnson is playing. But defense aside, because I've seen Ohio State's offensive line struggle, I think y'all's defense could keep you in this game for 2.5 quarters. I just don't see how you guys are going to score in this, regardless of what type of Dr. Emporium's, whatever that thing is, whatever type of Dr. Seuss stuff gets drawn up. Man, I just don't see a way in which Michigan can score more than 13 points in this game, man. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just, from what I've seen, I don't think you can throw it consistently against this Ohio State defense. Maybe the only saving grace is if Jim Knowles regresses back to what he did a couple years ago and says, you know what? Michigan can't throw it. So we're just going to play zero coverage behind you and load up the box and make you throw it. Well, when you play zero coverage, that means you got no help. There is no life alert. Oh, I've fallen and I can't get up. Thanks, free safety. It is one false step, one bad moment of eye discipline, right? One slip, one bad hand placement. It's not a first down, it's a touchdown. I don't see him doing that, though, David. I don't see him making that mistake twice.
Blaine, is Michigan in for a dog walking?
Look, I love you.
Yeah,
right.
That's not a good start.
But
no, it's not. I can go ahead and tell you how this moves.
It's going to be belt to ass for 4 quarters. It is. And look, Michigan, y'all can put this on whatever video you want to. Y'all going to get drugged. Because I think, for Ryan Day, he might try to score 1,000 on y'all. He really might.
Can you blame him?
I mean, not really. But David, at the end of the day, y'all won the Natty last year.
Yeah.
You always have something to fall back on.
And stop with that poison.
It's not a poison. This isn't a personal attack to you. I just hope you know that. But this is just a revenge game. All right, and there's no way I can look at this game and be like, well, Michigan, you got something here. You can do something here. Well, you.
That's my thing. I'm just not seeing.
It's going to be a beatdown for 4 quarters.
Yeah. Call me Stevie Wonder.
But I love you.
All right, well, let me do my best here.
Go ahead, David. Good luck.
My message to Michigan football is simple this week. For the first time in a long time, most of you in that locker room don't know what it's like to lose to the Buckeyes. And I'm telling you right now, brother, you don't want to know. That's a pain that stays with you for life. I don't care how many times you beat them, lose once, and that's what you will remember. Now, the last 3 iterations of this game were what the rivalry should be. Undefeated matchups, top 5, Big Ten on the line, college football playoff on the line. These aren't those stakes. So what? You're the defending national champions. That's your past. You signed the number 1 player in the country. That's your future. But what about right now? You have a chance to get on that bus, drive to your biggest rival's house, who already wants to hang 100 on you, who already came back this season just to beat you. You have a chance to go down there and do the impossible. I just saw Auburn do it against Texas A&M. I saw Florida do it against Ole Miss. Kansas can do it against Colorado. Why not you? Saturday, strap up the chin strap and shock the world. You think that'll do something?
I think you're doing all you can.
I'm doing all I can.
I appreciate it. Tell me, David, you're a brilliant football mind. Tell me how. Is it, and I hate to put it like this, is it Ohio State going to have to lose it? Is that what it's going to have to be? Is Will Howard just going to have to be Drew Barrymore from 51st Dates and just forget?
Well, what would be them losing it? Our defensive front seven, well, that's what I mean. Like, if our defensive front seven, which is the strength of the defense, gets a strip sack fumble and goes up, or you get a pick six, even though Will Johnson's not playing because Will Howard has been known to do a couple of those things, is that them losing it, or is that the strength of our team showing up and making them flustered for a little bit? But on the offensive side, I mean, Davis Warren's going to have to piece together the best game he's played, right? Like, I've seen amazing drives. I've seen singular amazing throws. Can you replicate that for the entire game? Because what that'll do is open up your strength on offense. Maybe Donovan Edwards says, I got one more in me. Ready? You want to see an 80-yard touchdown run? I got another one in me. I can go for 250 this game, 175 this game, combined with what Kalel Mullings can do. I mean, that to me would be the only shot. But like you said, you're going to the horseshoe to play. It's so personal for Ryan Day that he's trying to put up 70 points on you. And, but this is the thing about this game, just like the Iron Bowl, what we just talked about. Like, some installments of this game are the most interesting when one team has a 500 record and they're doing nothing more than playing to ruin the other season.
And I want to get to the chat. I know we got to move, but do you take a page? I think you have to. I frame this as a question, but I don't think it's a question. You take a page out of the playbook of the service academies, out of what Vanderbilt did against Alabama, and say, you know what, the new clock rules, that clock will run after a first down unless it's under 2 minutes going to halftime or the last 2 minutes of the game. Do you, in the old days in college basketball for the shot clock, if you were playing a team that's better than you, you would just try and dribble around the whole game, right? You would just try and dribble around and keep it as low scoring as possible. If you're Michigan, do you just slow this thing down to a churn? Because it does multiple things. One, it shortens the game and it limits the possessions. Now, you have to be able to move the ball to do this. Like, you can't go 3 and out and do this.
Yeah.
But the longer, if you have success doing that, that's what I thought, one of the most beautiful parts about Indiana's first drive was that it wasn't quick strike, is that it was slow and methodical. And the shorter this game gets, and if it stays relatively close, the pressure builds only on one side, and that's Ohio State. So if you're able to control the clock and the tempo and slow it down, it's kind of like stopping a transition basketball team and making them run sets offensively and run their offense. Maybe that could somewhat even the odds for you. That, to me, that's got to be the plan. That's got to be the plan.
That offensive strategy is the best tactic going into this game. The problem is, let's say you find yourself with a couple early 3 and outs because of that, and then you're down 17-0, right? Like, Colston Loveland, that's your best weapon on offense. You got to figure out opportune times to get him the football. And I'll tell you one thing I don't want to see in this game. Because the Buckeyes have already cemented that they're playing in Indianapolis in the Big Ten championship game, I don't want to see a situation where they don't throw all their play calls at this game, or they sit some starters in this game, which I don't think is going to happen.
There's no way.
Because like you said, one, biggest rivalry in the sport, and they've lost the last 3. They're taking this seriously. While that would give Michigan a greater chance to win, that's bad for college football, and that's another arrow in the sling for people who say the 12-team playoff expansion is bad, because then it's sort of like the NFL. Well, we'll rest all of our players the last week because we've already made the playoffs.
Maybe you just go opposite and go warp speed.
If you're the Buckeyes?
If you're Michigan. Maybe you just go against the grain. Just go super fast.
That's an interesting idea.
Or do you just alternate? Super fast, super slow. Super fast, super slow.
That's what I do as a
Never let them know your next move. Hey, YouTube, let's win some money. College basketball, college football, NFL, maybe even the NBA for all 9 of you out there that watch it. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button.